Welcome to episode 5 of the Catch Me If You Can podcast. If you're not bilingual, that means episode 5 of the Catch Me If You Can podcast. We've got a lot of little stuff today, but we're going to get started real quick here with our sponsor. Episode 5 of Catch Me If You Can is brought to you by DJ Joe Sheets. Matthew is actually wearing the shirt right now. Nice, for the brand. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see DJ Joe Sheets. He's actually working on a new logo now, so that's, I think, an outdated shirt. We should get some new ones. But we're very thankful for Joe and thankful that he invested in us. So if you could do us a huge favor, invest in him. And not just him and us, but invest in yourself. Invest in your marriage. Make sure your marriage starts out with a bang by hiring the greatest DJ in the entire planet. DJ Joe Sheets has been at it for nearly a decade and knows how to keep the dancing going from the first song to the last. Check out his new website at djjoesheets.com or by phone at 765-586-3818. DJ Joe Sheets, bringing the music to you. All right, so let's get started. So, as always, I'm Josh Pugh. We're man down this week. We're man down, but we're still going strong. So, join with me today. 2 of the 3 of my decent friends. First up, we've got Colin Farrell Chenoweth.
One of these weeks, you'll get my middle name right. You're getting closer.
We're just throwing darts and hoping we hit a bullseye one of these times.
I want to backtrack, ask Mahler where he got that shirt.
Joe gave it to me for free because he was my DJ at my wedding, so he sent me and Taryn the shirts.
Just to be clear, it wasn't just specifically for Mahler. It's anybody that gets married gets free T-shirts. I'm sure you can still buy them, but Maddie and I also have these T-shirts. They're comparable to like a Under Armour performance gear shirt. You could wear them out to the bars. You can wear them working out. You can wear them to a wedding. They're tasteful for sure. They're very nice.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I did not know that it was his wedding gift to you, besides playing music at your wedding.
All right. And then our other, once again, Matthew Perry Mahler.
Matthew Perry, all right. Friend shout out. Do you guys see him in that Bleacher Report tweet?
No, what happened?
You haven't seen that Bleacher Report tweet?
No,
we just said no.
Are you kidding me? So after the United States women's team won the World Cup, Bleacher Report posted this like cartoon graphic and had 15 players from the women's team on it, and then a bunch of people randomly from America, and they had the whole cast of Friends on there. So Matthew Perry was on there. But ladies and gentlemen, this is episode number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 3 things before we get into it. First off, I looked this up, and most podcasts only last about, on average, 4 episodes. So we broke the average, guys. And,
nice. Hey, good for us.
Good for us. Here's a stat that I didn't make up. LeBron James recently gave Anthony Davis number 23 out of the kindness of his heart. And I assume that LeBron will be number 6 this season. And in the finals, as number 6, LeBron James is 2-2. As number 23, he's 1-4. So he's doubled his chances to win the finals. So watch out for the King. He's coming for that title. And last but not least, 2 episodes we talked about thread count. And me and Colin were wondering, what's a good range for a thread count? And Josh and Ryan didn't know. They just said higher is better. That's not true. The ideal range is from 200 to 800. Although you'll occasionally see numbers over 1,000, astronomical thread counts don't necessarily mean the sheet is better. There are even tricks to inflating the thread count, such as multiple yarn twists together, that don't actually improve the thread and may deter from its quality. So if you're looking for new sheets, look between the 200 to 800 thread count range.
That's so wide.
Yeah, I think we found our unofficial stat guy.
I love stats, that's for sure.
I mean, all in on stats. I appreciate that. So follow up to some of those things. I don't believe you. There's 0% chance that 200 thread count cotton doesn't feel like a fucking towel. There's no way it feels near as good as some Egyptian cotton sheets. LeBron James giving up his number out of the kindness of his heart. For some reason, I feel like he's an asshole, and there's no way he just did that out of the kindness of his heart. I also saw KD is giving up 35 for number 7. So it's interesting that both superstars are changing numbers. And then the last thing, I do remember seeing that on Bleacher Report's Instagram, and I went to pull it back up, and it actually got dogged so hard by so many people for being so ridiculously stupid. They actually deleted it off their account, so it's no longer up there. That graphic's gone, but it had like the cast of Stranger Things, Friends, Kobe Bryant, like just all these random people on there. It was the dumbest graphic I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, there's a few people that like no one knew who they were. Like there's a guy between Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar. No one knew who there was, and I looked it up. It's Stu Holden, who is a retired American soccer player. There was no rhyme or reason to it, and yeah, they deleted the tweet to it like right away after they posted it, and everyone was dogging on about it.
That's crazy. But speaking of that retired soccer player and that graphic, we are officially world champions yet again. Yes. That's one thing I actually like about like the men or women, but men obviously sucks. So the national soccer team that we have actually being world champions actually makes sense since we beat other countries. Unfortunately, it was the Netherlands, which our one listener from the Netherlands, we're extremely apologetic that you're a loser.
But we still appreciate the stroopwafels.
Matt still appreciates those.
Have you tried one yet? Have you got one at McDonald's or no?
I bet he's had more than one.
Oh, I had one actually. Yeah, I don't know if I told the story. I had to call McDonald's to make sure their ice cream machine was working before my mother-in-law went and got one for me, and it was all right. It wasn't that great. The caramel got kind of hard. When you put caramel pieces into ice cream, it's too hard and it's too crunchy. So yeah, it's definitely something I'm not going to be buying again. It was fun to try out, but the Rolo McFlurry I think is still probably my favorite McFlurry. I had that in Canada, and I haven't had it in America, but it was good.
Isn't there caramel in a Rolo too?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's contained inside of a chocolate.
So. The chocolate keeps it keeps it moist, huh?
Yeah.
It doesn't turn into like a Werther's that you get out of your grandpa's pocket.
Your tube on it.
I'm kind of a big fan of the vanilla cream Werther's. Actually, you ever had those?
Nope.
Is there strawberry cream Werther's? I feel like it's got like the little swirls in there, or is it a different brand? I don't know, but I've had that before. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But speaking of NBA that we talked about a little bit, a lot of things happened since we last met.
So many things.
Yeah. Kawhi is now a Clipper. Paul George is now a Clipper as well. Ryan, our good friend Ryan, has a Paul George LA jersey. Unfortunately, it is a Los Angeles Lakers Paul George jersey. So that's not going to work unless he gets a sticker or something that he can put Clippers on or something.
Or just order a new one from China for $7 would probably be the better investment.
D'Angelo Russell is going to the Warriors.
So I saw somebody tweeted that they're kind of getting away from like this super team, right, where there's always like three top players, 3 stars on the team. So let me just roll through it real quick. But yeah, so you talked about the Clippers, which Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I had no idea that Paul George was even thinking about going there, so that was wild to see. Lakers, obviously LeBron and Anthony Davis. The Nets now with Kyrie and Durant, even though Durant's going to be out this year. The Sixers really have, Simmons and Embiid still. The Rockets, Harden, Paul. Bucks, they're still got their 2 guys. Golden State, Klay, Steph. And then Miami, I think Miami, honestly, will be in play for Russell Westbrook. I think he is 100% out on OKC. I think it's nuts that Jimmy Butler went there without them having anybody. And then Whiteside, I guess he went up to Portland. So I mean, they really suck down there. So I think the power shifted again to the Western Conference, 100% from the East again, which is unfortunate. But LA is going to be crazy as far as their rivalry for the next at least 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the next season because I feel like for the first time in a long time, it's not a foregone conclusion that the Warriors are going to make it out of the West. Getting D'Angelo Russell is a really good addition. And They got Jordan Poole. They drafted him, and they still have Steph Curry and Draymond. They got rid of Iggy, but I still think they'll be a threat. But I think it'll be a lot more competitive than it has been in previous years.
And then DeMarcus Cousins, we didn't even mention that he flip-flopped over to the Lakers, which he hasn't been really relevant the last 2 years, but a lot of that was due to injuries. But if he's healthy, like, watch out. Maybe that is a big three over there. But don't forget the beast of the East, though, Boston. Carson Edwards has been killing the summer league, so watch out for him.
Yeah, I was looking at stats of the summer league actually today because Duncan Robinson was on a podcast I listened to, and I saw Romeo wasn't even playing, but Carson was doing pretty well. So hopefully he'll get some good minutes once the league.
Yeah, he had 20 the first game, then he had 14 the second game, but he's been shooting really well and a lot of steals, and I guess Boston's been in love with him, which is cool to see. So hopefully those Purdue guys, that Purdue guy, I guess, Indiana ties does well.
Yeah, I'll be really excited once the NBA season starts, and I'll watch the first 2 or 3 games. Then I'll kind of forget about it because football will be on, and then Christmas Day will roll around. You get those big matchups, and I'll get back into it for a little bit, but then fade out again until the playoffs. But,
right.
It's the off season for the NBA is really exciting, and I don't think there's any other off season kind of like it. So
it's certainly the most exciting. Chino, what are your thoughts on baseball free agency cucking baseball right now, or basketball free agency? I mean, I didn't even watch the home run derby, but I guess it was insane. So obviously you played a little tingo pingo. What are your thoughts?
I was not very good, but I played growing up.
I saw you get a lot of shanked balls.
My opinion is different because I could care less about the NBA. So I'm so happy all those guys finally signed. Now, hopefully, we don't have to hear about any of it anymore once Westbrook finally goes wherever he gets going. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it is kind of interesting, I guess, to see where all those guys land.
Are you watching the All-Star game right now?
I do have it on, but I have no clue what's going on because I'm just looking at it, but I'm not listening.
MLB, here's your one audience right here watching the All-Star game.
Yep, keep them in business.
The home run derby is nothing like what it used to be when we were kids, but last night was pretty nuts how many home runs some of those guys hit.
Well, they do. I mean, they juice the balls and stuff, right?
They juice the balls, and the rules are different. You don't get 10 outs, you get 4 minutes. So you could have 20-something outs, but you still have time left to hit home runs.
Well, and I saw a thing that said that the ball was supposed to land before the next pitch was thrown. Oh, yeah. Now, I didn't watch it, but I saw they were just like rapid fire throwing those things.
It was pretty nuts. So when I heard a little stat about they had like all-time home run derby, who's hit the most, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. participated last night and broke the record, hit 91 in one derby, and that's more than anybody's ever hit.
Yeah,
Griffey Jr. did it like 7 years.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair, but I mean, it got Twitter buzzing and
right. That's what people go there to watch them hit home runs, and that's what they did.
Well, that's what I understand is if the ratings are so high because people are smashing home runs, let them all take steroids instead of juicing the balls. Juice those biceps up, dude. Yeah. And just smack 80 home runs a year. I mean, what does it matter? If you make it okay for everybody to do it, I'm all in on people doing steroids for performance. Do it. That's fine. Great. Good for you.
We're talking about the NBA and baseball together. I mean, the home run derby is kind of like slam dunk competition. Those are kind of similar things. And I think the thing with the home run derby is the time limit now. It doesn't last like 5 hours. That was when I was a kid, that was the worst thing. It always lasted way too long. So
have they always go ahead?
The thing that annoys me about the slam dunk contest is it's like the last event of a night of events, and I don't really care about most of the events that are before it, so that gets kind of annoying too. But yeah, it's definitely a lot shorter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Has baseball always had the celebrity game?
A softball game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have that during the day but they don't like play it until after the home run derby.
Yeah, why did they do the All-Star games like on Monday, like on a Tuesday? Why not the weekend?
That's a good question. I feel like as long as I can remember, it's always been at the beginning of the week.
It's weird.
I don't know.
I always, not that I give two shits about the NBA All-Star game and stuff like that, but it always falls on like my birthday weekend, February 17th. It's always right then, so I always know when it's going on.
The home run derby and All-Star game, that's usually on my birthday.
Right.
Close.
It's so unfortunate though, like the NBA All-Star game and like the NFL, Pro Bowl. Dude, those games are so stupid to watch now because like all these guys, I mean, they're such big people, they're big name people, like they don't want to hurt each other. The competition's trash. I mean, it's not even fun to watch anymore. It's kind of a bummer.
I like the way that the NHL has done it. They do a 3-on-3 tournament. They get 3 people from each division, and they do a tournament that way. I don't watch it, but it seems like it'd be a good format.
Well, they sold you on it. You don't watch it, but you like it. Well, doesn't baseball though? Baseball, like there's actually like home field advantages for play, right? Look, they did.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
I could be wrong.
Honestly, they had it there for a while.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'll have to fact check that later, but I'm pretty sure they got rid of it.
Well, I would have been all in on that. I think that's a great idea to actually have something to play for. So that's sports talk. we covered a few things. They're world champions, free agency's over. Now we're kind of in the dead period unless you like baseball up until football starts. So I don't know how many Sundays are left, but I know we're going to have a lot to talk about when that season rolls around. But let's get into our all-ins and all-outs this week. Who wants to go first?
Why don't you start us off, Josh, with your all-in?
Okay. So I guess I'll talk about it later as well, but I went and saw the new Spider-Man this weekend, which reminded me of what I am all in on. I am all in on post-credit movie bloopers. I feel like not enough movies do that anymore. But like you think about like Step Brothers back in the day and stuff like that, just hearing them just go back and forth just off the cuff, dude, that is one of the best parts of the movie. And then to couple with that, it's a little bit different, right? But even if it's a fake movie, when they show like in the future where those people went, it's like I think about like The Sandlot. It talks about what all they went on to do, like in the future, like 10 years later, like Benny played for them, blah blah blah. I love post movie credit, bloopers and the futures.
Like the text that comes up, like they'll freeze on the picture and they'll say, this character went on to do this and that.
Yes, 100%. I love that. If that movie has it, it could be the shittiest movie ever made. It's instantly 99% on my Rotten Tomatoes meter. I love it.
Gives you good closure on all the characters. You're not wondering.
Yeah, it does. It does. I don't like to leave it to imagination. Like, just tell me what happens. It's your story. It's not mine. Just tell me. Just tell me where they went.
Oh, that's funny. I was just talking about that with someone the other day, how there's no blooper reel in the movies. But when we were growing up in the 90s and 2000s, all the comedies,
every single one.
None of those movies would be funny now if they were released. But obviously they're hilarious to us because we grew up with them. They seem like they all had a blooper reel.
Yeah. So that's my all-in this week. Matt, why don't you go next, man? What are you all in on?
I am all in on sparkling water.
Nope.
I think it's because of White Claw that I'm into the sparkling water, but I used to not be into it. But after drinking White Claw, I decided to try it out, and I really enjoy it. It's a nice little flavor. I get the carbonation still without all the sugar from pop. Today I had a nice LaCroix at lunch, and it was quite delicious. So that's kind of my boring all in, but all in on sparkling water. My favorite brand, not a paid sponsor here, but Waterloo. If you're looking for
what's that?
Waterloo, like the battle.
Like toilet water?
No, like like the Battle of Waterloo. Waterloo makes really good sparkling water. So if you're looking for a good sparkling water brand, I suggest checking out Waterloo.
The Battle of Waterloo, was that a War of 1812? When was that?
No,
when was that battle?
It's Napoleon, I think, right? The French War.
So I wish I could agree with you. I hate LaCroix. I hate sparkling water. So it's crazy because obviously we all love White Claw, but I can't do sparkling water. I hate it so much. Matt, drinking a White Claw right now. Get clawed.
Claws up.
But I'm all out on it. That's not my all out, but I'm all out on sparkling water.
Speaking of White Claw, here's another stat for you. Between June 30th to July 6th, White Claw peaked on Google Trends. It was at 100. So it's at its all-time high, and that makes me feel really proud because we got in early on this trend. We started drinking it last August, and now it's reaching heights that we never could dream of.
Before that, yeah, Chino got me into it in June or July. May. It was May of last year because it was at the race.
I heard the White Claws and Trulies are out selling all domestic and craft beers and stuff so far this summer.
You dumb shit! I sent you that freaking link.
You know that?
Yeah, it said White Claws. White Claws had outsold all beers like from whatever until July 4th.
Okay, I couldn't remember you sent that. Credit to Josh for that.
Thank you. Can confirm.
But I agree. Screw the. What was it that you were all in on, Mahler?
Sparkling water, carbonated water.
Yeah.
Toilet water.
Yeah, no thanks.
So you guys don't like vodka sodas?
No.
No. I'm all about that.
Listen, so for you listeners out there, we're so all out on that. So we buy the pure White Claws, which is essentially what Muller's talking about, is just a sparkling water with alcohol in it. However, we also get about 12 different flavored Mios, and we just make our own flavored White Claws. So I'm not drinking the pure, I'll tell you that right now, and I'm not drinking freaking LaCroix or toilet water. I'm out on it.
What are you all in on, Colin?
I'm all in on something I do just about every day, and that's take a nap.
I thought you were going to say jerk off.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I was going to ask Ryan how his naps are because he's in college and probably takes one whenever he wants, but he's not here to speak for himself.
Probably taking a nap.
Like my nap dynamic might be different from you guys because you guys have kids. Like, do you get naps in still, or?
Monday through Fridays, there are no naps to be had, but on the weekends, if the kids are not here, I will 100% take a nap every single time they're not here. And sometimes if they are here, I would just if they're just being crazy psychos, I'm like, dude, it's nap time for everybody. I mean, shut the house down.
Mandatory nap time.
Shut your eyes, shut your mouth. We're taking a nap. I love naps.
I'm not much of a napper, honestly. I don't really nap at all.
You sleep when we're drinking.
What? Yeah, I mean, here's a good example of that. We were at the lake drinking, and we came back from the lake, and everyone took a nap, and I just stayed up because I just don't take naps very often. If I take a nap, it's like 30 minutes max, or like I'll be reading, and I'm so tired I can't keep my eyes open. I'll be like, all right, I'm going to close my eyes for 15, 20 minutes.
Bro, that's a terrible example because none of us took a nap except for you, and then we got to the bars and you slept in the car. You took a freaking 10 to 12 nap.
Yeah.
But did you guys take a nap when we got back from the boat?
No, I was team no nap the whole weekend.
No naps.
Even though I said I'm all in on naps, but I wasn't. I was trying to get maximum friend time.
I don't get as sleepy anymore because I have my CPAP machine like an old man. I have such good quality sleep at night that I'm not as tired at 11 and 2 and 4 and 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Go all day.
I'm all in on naps. The weekend naps are the best though. If you like when you got nothing to do, or you're a little productive during the morning, and then get an afternoon one. That's the best.
I think, especially during like football season, right? Like between that first game and the second game, because you don't really care about the Cowboys playing the Cardinals at the 4 o'clock game, except for Muller liking the Cardinals. But you fall asleep, you wake up for the second half, and then you catch that. So I love a Sunday nap during football season.
We used to always say a third quarter nap.
Yep.
That's the perfect time to take a nap. You take a third quarter nap, wake up for that fourth quarter, the witching hour, and you're good to go.
Wishing hour. Friend of the show, Brandon Han, I gave him a Snuggie back in the day because he would come over and he would take a nap every single Sunday because he was always so hungover. But he sent me a picture. He's made several moves from Chicago to Detroit. He's still got that Snuggie going strong.
Is it just like a generic color, or is it like?
It's not. It's a generic Snuggie. It's not even a Snuggie. It's not even name brand. But it's got some pockets. It's red, and it's. My mom got it for me as a prank for Christmas one year, and I was so pissed about it because, here I am. This is one of my last presents from my parents. Here I open it up, and it's a fucking Snuggie. I'm like, first of all, you got my hopes up. Shame on you. Second of all, you wasted, I don't know, $12 that you could have just given me $10 and saved yourself $2, and I would have taken the money. So
they're always too short too. Like they never cover my whole body unless I'm like scrunched up into a little ball.
I can really picture Muller wearing a Snuggie. I don't know why.
He looks like a Snuggie guy. We had a guy that I've played football with on the offensive line. He got a Snuggie for Christmas. He was all in on a Snuggie. Well, he fell asleep with his phone like between his legs in bed, and he had a Snuggie on. He had so much gooch sweat that he actually broke his phone because it had water. He had water damage because he had a Snuggie on it. He was sweating so hard. So I guess that's offensive lineman problems. But
my wife bought sweatpants that have
the ass cut out.
No, they have feet on them already. Those are really great.
Oh, that's weird.
I think.
And all outs. Do you guys want me to go again first?
Yeah, go for it.
Yep, hit lead off.
All right. Thankfully I don't see this very much anymore because I don't get out as often. But when I think about this, I think about like what's the one up in Monticello, Indiana Beach, and like Kings Island and stuff like that. But I am all out on child leashes. I have hated those things ever since I was like a teenager and I didn't have kids. My cousin, he was the first kid I ever saw that had one, and they trick you. They put like a little monkey backpack on you, but then it clips in front. But now, dude, I just see these trashy parents. They've got, a 4X Tweety Bird t-shirt on. They've got their front unbuttoned. They're smoking a cigarette. They've got, that Walmart bleach blonde hair, and they're just yanking their kid back from, picking up gum off it's just like, just watch your kid. That's all you have to do. It's not that hard. I mean, if you can train a dog without a leash, you could treat your kid like that. So all out on that. That shit drives me crazy. People that know me really well know that drives me bonkers. I hate people that do that.
Yeah, we were at the zoo on Friday, and we went up to some fish exhibit, and some parent had their kid on their wrist, like attached to like a stretchy thing. I'm like, seriously? God. It's right, like the kid's right in front of you. You don't need to like have him attached to your wrist. Like, just watch where he's going.
If I see somebody with a child leash, I just immediately think you're a trashy, lazy piece of shit. And if any of my listeners and if our listeners think that it's okay, go listen to a different podcast. You're not welcome here. But make sure to stay subscribed.
Yeah.
All right, Mahler, I don't know if you have a child leash or not, if I offended you, but what are you all out on?
I do not have a child leash. I just watch my kid. I don't need a leash. I am all out on premium podcast. I have enough streaming services already that I'm paying for. I don't want to pay for premium content on podcast. The Ringer came out with a new one today called Break Stuff about Limp Bizkit's performance at 1999 Woodstock that like started a riot and stuff. I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. I want to check it out. Oh, it's a premium podcast. You have to pay $7.99 a month to get access to these podcasts. I'm like, no, I'm already paying enough for other streaming services. And speaking of that, HBO Max was introduced today, and it's another service I'm probably going to have to pay for. I don't have to pay for it. I know. I don't have to pay for it. So at some point, I think I'm going to have to reevaluate what I'm subscribing to, and maybe we can start sharing accounts.
Well, and that's like we talked about a little bit, like Disney Plus is coming out, and like NBC's coming out their own. People get that just for The Office. So I actually didn't know that there was any podcasts out there that you had to pay for. So
I didn't either.
Maybe, hey, maybe something to think about.
Maybe we'll be thinking one day.
Yeah, there's the first one I countered was Marvel did like a story-based one with Wolverine, and they eventually released it for free, but they did it like a month or two later after they released it on a premium service called Stitcher Premium. Then The Ringer has a bunch of new ones that are going on this platform called Luminary, and Luminary has a bunch of new podcasts coming out. Like Trevor Noah has done one. Like there's a bunch of cool ones I'll list to you, but I'm not paying $8 for podcasts. That's where I draw the line.
Right, and so I wouldn't listen to it either. And you know what you should listen to? The Catch Me If You Can podcast.
Always
because
free.
We're free to listen. Always, well, maybe not always.
Maybe
we'll see.
Maybe bonus content will be paid.
All right, Chino, what are you all out on, man?
Well, one thing real quick is if you're paying for them, they better not have ads once you pay for those.
Oh, good point. Yeah, it better not be sponsored by anybody. If I catch DJ Joe Sheets on a different fucking paid podcast, we're gonna have words.
Yeah, I think they're all ad free, so that's one good thing, I guess. But like, I can just skip those ads most of the time, and sometimes those ads are funny.
Yeah.
I like when they're actually like 30 seconds long, because then if you hit that plus 30 and then you like it jumps back, I'm like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I love when they
So-
have background music, so you know when it's over. Like you're fast forwarding through and you don't hear the background
Right.
music anymore. Like, yes, ad's over. I can stop
Yep.
fast forwarding.
Nailed it.
All right, so my all out actually kind of came from when Mahler was talking about. We talk about AirPods last week? At some point, AirPods got brought
Low
up.
batteries.
Yeah, I
low
said-
batteries.
Oh, that's right. And I said I was all in on AirPods. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure AirPods are very nice, but I'm all out on people wearing AirPods out in public if you're not working out.
Okay.
Well, I see these dumbasses wearing AirPods at the grocery store, and they just look like they have Q-tips broken in half stuck in their ears, walking around. Like you can't take them out, put them in your pocket or something.
Yeah. What drives me nuts is I see people like driving with them, and that's not okay. You shouldn't be wearing headphones.
That's hilarious. Maddie said, she's like, if I was on there, my all out would be people that wear their headphones in the car. And she's like, look right there. Like as she was telling me this, we pulled up to somebody that I've never done that. I have AirPods. I wear them all day. So I wear them when I'm sitting in the office, making phone calls, talking to customers. I use them at the gym. I mean, I use them all the time, but I've never walked into like a public place knowing I don't need them. Like, and I don't know why, but it's like people that just like listen to podcasts when they're like grocery shopping. And I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of weird. Like you hear
You got
something.
every right to, but I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way.
It's kind of like, oh, look at me, I have an AirPod. Like, good for you, dude. You know how many people have fucking AirPods? I have an iPhone too. I see where you're coming from for sure. They are fantastic. I am all in on AirPods, but not people.
Not knocking the AirPod itself. I've never tried it, but it sounds like they're really good. But just seeing people wear those in public, and
yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, right on. So we're actually going to try a new segment this week.
Colin, play the new segment sound.
Would you rather? So I'm sure most of you, or all of you, except for maybe the people from the UK and Netherlands, maybe, I don't know, are familiar with a would you rather. So this is basically, we're going to ask the question, hey, would you rather do this or this? Everybody has to answer, regardless of how disgusting it is. Mahler, try to take it easy on us. So it should be good. Does anybody, I was having trouble thinking of any, so I'm not going to lie, I cheated and I Googled it. There wasn't dick online either.
I feel like I got a really good one, but I'm going to ask Mahler, like, you feel like you got a top-notch one?
I think mine's pretty good. I think it's pretty relevant to what we've all been watching actually lately. We've all been really enjoying Dark lately. So I found one that was, would you rather go into the past and meet your ancestors, or go into the future and meet your great-great-grandchildren?
I think that's an awesome question. I think it's totally relevant. I think I would rather go into the past.
Why's that?
No
Any reason? Was that just your gut instinct?
Well, it's just my gut instinct. I don't know, because they've been on the earth, they've lived, they're like physical, tangible, realistic people. Whereas I don't know, I feel like if you went to the future to meet people and then you came back, like you would feel like if you did anything, you could really fuck that up. Like what if, like like what if I accidentally like ran a red light and it's like all of a sudden it's like, well, great, now my kids aren't going to have kids anymore. Like I don't know. I can't affect stuff that happened in the past.
Are we just visiting there for a little bit, or do we get to stay there for a while, or what?
I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. I'd imagine that you don't want to mess up the timeline, so you don't want to be going back and having sex with your aunt. But I mean, you can go back and talk to him for a little bit, I imagine.
Shit! Only people that watch Dark will get that reference. I think my initial reaction is the future, just because I want to know what it's going to be like in the future.
Yeah.
Are people going to be walking around with AirPods everywhere? You're
just going to be born with AirPods into your body when you come out.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like the Matrix. They can just download shit straight into your brain, and you just
you don't even have to go anywhere.
That's right. You gotta sit your head in like a chargeable pillow, and it just charges your brain.
You gotta make sure you put the tags on though, so it stays fresh.
Skin slow take off.
What about you, Mom?
For me, I would want to go into the past. I mean, they have all those DNA kits now that you can do to see where you came from, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet, so I don't really know exactly where I'm from or what I came from. So it'd be cool to go back and see, how I came to this point. I think the future would be cool too, but like that's the future. That's not something that I'm going to be part of. It's not something that it'd be cool to know what's going on in the future, but I think at the same time it's cooler for me to know what's going on, what happened in the past.
Well, Muller, I can tell you where you came from.
Where?
A vagina.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm pretty confident.
I could be from Mercury. Is it in retrograde still?
What?
Mercury in retrograde? I don't know. I haven't read my horoscope today.
Hey, shut up, nerd.
That's what we should have done. We should have taken out Ryan's college quad and just put in daily horoscopes.
I read them sometimes if I come across them when I'm working, but most of the time I avoid them.
Hey, people that post their horoscope on Twitter, you can get bent. I don't care what your horoscope is. Oh, you're going to find success. Yeah, so are you and, the 7 people that just ate at the Chinese buffet down the street. Chill out, dude.
Right. I was thinking of fortune cookies.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so, Chino, can you outdo Mahler there? Mahler, do you have another one?
I do, but I thought we'd, do you want me to do another one here?
Sure.
Would you rather have nosy neighbors or noisy neighbors?
Go ahead, Josh. I got my answer.
I would rather have nosy. I don't really have anything to hide. Now, if they're noisy, that shit, I am such an old man. So 4th of July just happened. We had people in the neighborhood a week prior to 4th of July shooting off fireworks. We've got a dude like 6 houses down. He's like 50. He bangs that fucking drum in his garage. I hate those people. So they're not super noisy. They don't do it all the time. But I've got kids. I've got dogs, dude. I don't want to hear that crap. Like just, hey, if it's dark out, go to bed. Watch Netflix in your bed like a normal human. Just eat a pint of ice cream. I don't care. Just shut up. And you can just lay in bed and Facebook creep me quietly. Fucking nosy.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm 100% rather have nosy. I can act like I'm not home all day.
Yeah.
He's just napping. He's just in there napping.
Yep.
I think we all agree on this one. So it's kind of a would you rather, but I also too would rather have nosy neighbors. I also have a child and a dog. So I was really proud of my dog this 4th of July season, though. He was actually able to go out and go to the restroom, even when the fireworks were going off. So good job, Oliver.
Well,
proud of you.
Gosh, what a good dog. Does he still have that fat cancerous fucking tail?
He got surgery.
You cut his tail off?
Oh, no, he's still got on his tail, but he had surgery last year on my birthday to get rid of some fatty lumps he had on his body and face.
Chino, this dog's tail was so weird. It looked like, when you have a balloon animal, right? Well, the first thing they do is go, and they go to blow it up, and it doesn't do the whole tube. It only does like half of it, and they got to blow it again. So it had this fat, airy-looking pocket, and then it just had this little wiggle worm at the end of it. It was, dude, I just get that thing away from me.
Yeah, no thanks.
But anyhow, so Chino, you got any good all in all outs?
I do, but I got a caramel shout out because you said fireworks. And did you guys see the viral photo of the dude taking a picture of the fireworks and not intentionally, he caught somebody proposing to his wife and it got all over the news and on CNN and stuff like that. That was right outside my apartment complex.
Nice.
That was staged, right? You don't honestly believe that.
It was not staged. That's the coolness of the story is I just live right by where it happened. Yeah. That's it.
Hey, weird flex.
I know. All right, mine is not as PG rated as.
Nice. Here we go. You perv.
All right. Would you rather never have sex again or never have internet again?
Oof, that's a tough one.
Like your smartphone, useless.
But you could use no internet, so not even
no internet.
So no laptop or anything.
You're going to be really good at reading the map.
Nope. I would give it up. I would give it up.
Give what up?
I would jerk off the rest of my life. I would not be able to go without internet. I mean, I love sex. Don't get me wrong. But could you imagine? I mean, none of us are even 30 yet. Could you imagine going the next 50 plus years without, especially the internet's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. I mean, no more podcasts for Josh Depew, no more Xbox. My job revolves around, like, I'm on the internet every single day. What are the nosy neighbors going to do if they don't have internet? I mean, it's just your whole world. You can't buy stuff unless you actually go physically to a store, so I'm going to have to see people and start wearing my AirPods like a psycho in the fucking grocery store. Like, nope, I'm giving up sex. I'm just jerking off to, I guess you can't even watch porn. I mean, this is a shitty this question sucks. You're going to just have to do, like, highlight reel in your freaking
That's the whole point of it. Would you rather?
I think I would go with no internet. I've always had this dream of being off the grid and just not have to worry about checking my phone or checking emails or anything. So I would just be off the grid having sex all the time.
just pounding pussy instead of pounding the keyboard.
Now I just picture Mahler in a Snuggie and like a mountain man out in the woods just having no internet.
The funny thing is when you said that, I pictured Mahler with his shirt off, 60 pounds heavier, and the longest, scraggliest, dirty ass hair, just freaking coming out to just rehydrate and refuel from just banging. And I feel like he came out I feel like he's gonna start his own like colony. And he's just kind of like 30 women following him, and he just has he's the sister wife guy now.
Yeah, starting a cult sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, I was all for no internet, but Josh made so many good points.
Thank you very much. How you like me now? So do you have another one? That's a good one.
That's all I had. I don't think I can.
All right. Get it. Well, I will. So I've got two. I'll do my dirty one first. It's very, very similar to yours. Would you rather? This is gonna suck for me if yours applies and mine has to piggyback on that. But would you rather never masturbate again or never eat solid foods ever again?
I would never eat solid foods again. I don't. I mean, I like food, but like, I'm okay with that food.
So you're just gonna blend all your food and eat applesauce? That's your life?
I'm gonna eat baby food all day.
I love yogurt. I love applesauce. I love ice cream.
Hell no.
So this dude, you're telling me you're
never gonna have a cheeseburger or a pizza again, except if it's pureed in a blender.
Hey, get the system faster.
Hey, listen, this dude gave up internet and food. The only thing he's gonna be eating is pussy 24/7. Oh my gosh, he doesn't care about internet, doesn't care about food. The only thing he needs to survive is just sex and jerking off.
And nosy neighbors.
Well, you know which side of the fence I'm on. I would rather have food.
Oh yeah,
for sure. So hopefully it doesn't piggyback off of yours, but I just steak, pizza, all that stuff forever. I mean, because in this by itself, right, you could still have sex the rest of your life, but you can also have cheesecake after you have sex, which I don't know why maybe that's a thing, but you could.
Yep, Mahler can't.
Nope.
I can have cheesecake, blended cheesecake milkshake, bro.
I do have a strawberry cheesecake yogurt. It's pretty good, but it's not the same.
I go for good steak milkshake.
I'm a Josh. I try to get into the smoothies and be healthy, and I kind of like them, but there's no way I could live my life like that.
Hey, shout out new smoothie place downtown Lafayette. It's overpriced, but it's actually really, really good. And Maddie called me to say, hey, do you want me to get you one of these shakes here? And I was like, I'm on a diet, bitch. Like, what's the macros? And I was like, ask that lady what's it? How many carbs? And she like literally, she's like, oh yeah, each one on average has about 8 grams of carbs, 23 grams of protein. I'm like, oh, bitty knows her stuff. Give me the no-bitty cookie flavor, please.
Is it called Healthies or something like that?
Yeah. So you get $1 off if you post on social media, which is a great little trick they do because I see it all over Facebook now. So free advertise. Well, I guess they're paying people $1 to advertise.
You get $1 off this podcast if you share it.
They're paying for it already.
So I got one last one. Do we want to do one more?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. So last one. I like this one a lot. Would you rather speak to animals, be able to speak to any animal in the planet, or would you rather be able to speak every language in the world?
Ooh, I like this one. This one's a win-win. All the rest of them have been pretty sucky.
Yeah. Yep. So I know my answer. I would rather speak to animals, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like it'd be great. I feel like you could. I don't know. I would just rather be able to talk to all the animals in the world, dogs and horses and cows.
There's some funny animals out there.
Hilarious. I mean, that'd be so fun.
But also, you could run into some really annoying animals. Could you imagine Ryan in animal form?
Like if you just hear the birds chirping outside, you just know what they're saying all the time.
Yeah, they're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're just yelling outside your window.
Hey, Kevin, do you see Colin got a new car?
It's like noisy neighbors all over again, man.
So I would rather speak to animals. It would be probably better for humanity if I could speak to all languages, but that's okay. I'd rather speak to animals. I'll just do me.
Colin, what about you?
Oh, I'm all for animals.
Yeah.
I'd be very attractive to all future employers if I could speak every language, but that doesn't sound as fun.
No, I'm sure you can if you're the only person in the world that could speak to all animals, people would pay you to talk to their animals. Like, hey, ask the cat Jeffrey over here why he keeps shitting outside the litter box. Like, people would pay you for your services, and that'd be a lot more fun than just being able to speak all the languages, for sure.
Well, if I learned anything from Mel Gibson's What Women Want is you sometimes don't want to hear everything that's coming out of another species' mouth. That didn't mean to sound that mean. You know what I meant, right?
Apologies to all our female listeners that he just called a different species.
So I would go with every language just because I think the animals would get annoying after a while.
You could have just referenced Dr. Doolittle instead.
Oh, yeah. Just forgot about that one. Instead, I insulted all of our female listeners. Sorry.
All right. So that is our new segment. I don't know if that was a one-time thing or I was a pretty good time. Maybe we just each have one from now on. Yeah, I like it. That's a good time. So let's jump in. So we are a man down this week, like I said, but we've got still 2/3 of the podcast that watches the Bachelorette. We are on a big episode this week. We've got hometowns. Colin is making the nastiest face right now. His nostrils are flared. He rolled his eyes. He didn't enjoy the episode. Colin, why are you so upset right now?
Hold on for 1 second. I do want to say that it was on last night while I was watching Dark on my computer. Taryn was watching it, so I saw a little bit. So I might be able to contribute just a bit, but not too much.
Just the tip. Yep. Just the tip.
Bring in what you can, whenever you can. We accept any stats.
So why are you so upset? Tell us why you're so upset, or do you want me to recap it first?
Go ahead and recap it first.
Okay, so I'll try to make this quick. So they had the hometown. So our Bachelorette, Hannah, she goes and she meets all 4 of the dudes' families, which is always super boring. The families are always super fake for the most part. They always say, oh, well, we'd love to accept you in our life as long as you make our son or daughter happy. That's the same shit every time. It was a little tricky this time. But so she started with Peter. Peter, no surprise, he took her on a flight. That's what he does. He plugs it all the time that he's a pilot. The only thing significant about their thing was his whole freaking family cried. Like the mom cried, the dad cried. They were all super emotional, and they did this weird like German prayer at the beginning of it where they started like all talking in tongues and shrieking and shit, and I was really freaked out. It was like a Pentecostal church. No offense to our listeners. My boy TC, Tyler's date went perfect. The family was awesome. They weren't overboard. The only thing I thought was funny was TC's dad had throat surgery, so he sounded like fucking Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I was wondering what was going on with his voice.
Yeah, so he had a vocal cord issue, so he sounded like Batman. Luke's bullshit finding God story again about looking up in the shower and the shower opened up and it was heaven. I can't handle that dude. He's so fake. And it was funny because his family's all in on his bullshit too. Like they're eating it up. They're like, because Hannah's like, yeah, he was basically, nobody liked him and he made a lot of waves, not in a good way. And they're all like, that doesn't sound like Luke. Like every single one of them said that. I'm like, it's clearly him. Like he's very natural. Being
the whole town and family.
Dude, he's.
Was that all of his family, or was that like some kind of prayer circle he went to with her?
It was both. It was both. One was like church friends, and then the next was his family.
Okay.
It was Sunday school, but he's like, yeah, we come here every single Sunday, but like most of the people that were there didn't even know who he was. So I'm like, dude, you're full of shit. And then the last one was Jed. Jed, not surprisingly, is plugging himself in music again, takes her to a music studio. They write a little ditty. He's like, look, I can sing in this, Adam Levine wannabe voice. And then it was cool, though, because his family talked about his music being a priority in his life the whole time. And I want to read this quote that his mom said. So everybody else is fake as shit. Jed's mom, she brought the hammer, though. So she's toasting. It was a thinly veiled toast, but she said, here's to everyone trusting their intuition and their gut every day. When you stick to your truth, it's beneficial to everybody. And that probably sounds better than how she delivered it, but she was basically just like, hey, this is crazy. And she said that. She's like, Jed's supposed to be focused on his music. He said when he came on the show, that's what he was there for. She literally said to Hannah, she's like, hey, Jed's just another guy. And she's like, what? No, he's not. She's like, yeah, he's just another guy on your show. You tell all the guys this.
Yeah, and the sister was like, same way.
Exact same way.
When Hannah said, should he be focusing on his music? And she was like, yeah, pretty much. You don't got time for you.
No, and it's crazy too because he's like, oh, I've talked to Hannah about this, and she would be super supportive of me chasing music. I'm like, dude, no, she wouldn't. She doesn't want to be a groupie for your ass. And like, especially with all the bullshit now that's coming out about him. I read a thing where he sent a long Instagram post about how people have been sending death threats to him and his sister and his family and all this stuff for him supposedly cheating. He's like, I'll tell the truth when the show's over and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, shut up. I hope you don't make it big because you're not a good person.
Yeah. One moment I saw when I was watching, or Taryn was watching, was they're singing their song and they're not singing to the mic, they're singing to each other. It was like one of those cringeworthy things I've ever saw. Taryn almost muted it because it's just so uncomfortable to watch.
So uncomfortable. Yeah.
Then the pre-dinner prayer.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad too.
You know what you're talking about?
No.
He's talking about when Jed and Hannah were singing into each other's eyes.
Oh, okay. Yes, that was pretty bad. I call baloney on Peter and his family actually doing that before every meal.
No. Oh, 100%. 100% they don't do it. They probably did it when they were a kid. And they're like, oh, it'd be funny for TV. Let's do this German scream prayer. That was uncomfortable. But I think the biggest thing in the show was obviously the ending, right? So at the end of this one is when she gives out 3 roses. It happens every single season. She gives out 3. She kicks off 1. Then she sleeps with 3 people at the overnight dates. Instead, old Hannah B changes it up, throws a little hissy fit, says, I don't think it's fair. I want to keep all 4 of them, which is total horseshit. She was so confident, so she gave out a rose to Peter first, rose to TC for second, boom, boom, just like that, and then she just could not for the life of her decide who to send home between 3 and 4. My thing is, like, if you don't know who is your 3rd or 4th place person by that much, just send them both home. And now she's going to try to sleep with all 4 dudes. And of course it's going to add more drama. So I guess I'm all in on it. But it's bullshit that she got to keep all the roses. Because if it was me and I was a bachelor, I would do that every single week. And I would be on week 8, and I would still have 30 women there to take to the freaking. Oh my gosh, I'd be like, hey, we're gonna travel the world. we're gonna not eat solid foods and just masturbate and no internet. We're just gonna have sex. That's it.
I didn't like how she disrespected the rose either. She was tearing it apart. I saw. I
thought she was going to break it in half and be like, here, you guys each get a half a rose. Now that's what she's doing. That's why I was rolling my eyes when you first started talking about it, just because of the bullshit cliffhanger. When they've already shown the argument in the previews that her and Luke have.
Right. So you knew after she gave it to Peter, after she gave it to Tyler, that they were there, and then you're like, well, 100% Ryan picked Luke. Luke was going as well. And then it was just the surprise of, oh, hey, I'm not sending anybody home. I'm like, that's a shitty surprise. I would rather already know that Luke's getting that third rose than the stupid surprise of you taking it was 100% waste of an episode. The only reason we watch this stupid show is to see who gets booted off at the end of the episode, or they've been doing it now where they do it at the beginning of the next one. Like, just tell us we're gonna watch it next week. Just tell us.
Now we got to watch her go on dates with all of them. That's one extra date we have to watch.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. But hopefully, I am interested to see. I hope that she doesn't have sex with Jed. But everything I keep seeing online, unfortunately, people think that she has sex with Jed in a windmill. So she says, I'm excited for the Luke drama with her, where he basically says he's going to dip out if she bangs somebody, and she's like, well, I already did. Yeah, twice. Then we did it again. I don't know how they do it on that show, because like it's all in the span of that 1 week, and so like being the fourth dude that week, like, hey, if you're not too, because especially in that circumstance, they've been dry humping now for a couple months. It's not like they just have a quick little like, oh, let's have a lovemaking session for 5 minutes. I mean, those dudes, I'm sure, are wrecking guts for like 8 hours all night. It's like she comes limping up to her last date. She's like, well, at this point, maybe we just talk all night. And it's like, damn, that ain't what I'm here for. But it'll be interesting.
Who was that?
I think the most.
Go ahead.
I can't comment on too much since I unwillingly found out what happens at the end. But the thing I'm looking forward to most is Hannah talking to Luke at the Men Tell All after they rewatch and like all this stuff. I want to know how it goes down after that.
He reminds me of Michael Scott when he's that episode of The Office where he's like, a lot of times when I start talking, I don't even know what I'm going to say. I'm just kind of hope that I find it as I'm a long way. That's Luke every time he talks. And so if I was Luke, I would not show up to after the final rose or whatever, because he is going to get shit on.
He's going to get roasted, and he's not going to know what to say.
He's going to stand there, and he's going to have that look on his face, and then he'll go, yeah, no, and then he'll just answer some random thing that he's thinking in his head. It won't address anything. He'll say that he never lied. He'll say he never talks about anybody behind their back. And then he'll say, I apologize if I offended all you. Like, I'm cool with all. And it's just, nobody likes him. There's no point in being there.
Did you notice during, I think it might have been his little Sunday school thing, one of the guys was like, or maybe it might have been during his family time, one of the guys was like, sometimes Luke just doesn't know how to react to a situation. That's how he was in every argument. He doesn't know what to say. Somebody puts the thought in his head.
But when he starts talking, the way he delivers it, he acts like anything that's about to come out of his mouth, you're going to want to be prepared for this, because it's going to be huge.
Simple.
So anyhow, stupid episode. I think we spent long enough talking about it.
Who was she straddling in the car there?
TC, that's my boy.
Apparently the driver was in the front seat.
Yep.
Now you're saying you never made out with anybody in the back of an Uber?
No, I don't think I have, actually.
Okay.
Maybe once I hear the internet.
You won't be able to get an Uber if you don't have the internet, so.
Oh,
God. Hey, have fun hailing down a taxi. Psycho. All right, so we talked about we're watching The Bachelorette. Let's get into what we're actually all watching, not just me and Chino. So, Mahler, start us off, man. What have you been watching this past week?
Well, I finally finished season 1 of Dark. Now I'm on to season 2. I'm really into it. I watched episode 1 yesterday, and then today at work I was looking at the discussion forum for it. So I'm really into Dark. It's really awesome. I'm glad Colin recommended it to me. And I'm also watching Seinfeld for shorter duration show, because Dark this season their episodes are like 52 minutes long, so sometimes I don't have a lot of time for that. But that's the only two ones I'm watching at the moment. I'm also watching Big Brother. That's heating up now, so that's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm kind of all back in on Netflix originals after watching Dark. I'm hoping I could find.
Well, he flipped in a matter of 3 short weeks. He flipped.
I'm hoping I can find another gem like Dark after I finish Dark. I saw they had one called The Last Czar. Looks kind of cool, so I might check that out next.
Yeah, I think if you can get if you can get a show that's at least got like 2 seasons out, I think you can really buy into it. I like those like gritty mystery kind of drama things, I've only watched, unfortunately, the first like 2 episodes of season 2 of Dark, which they're both fantastic. I'm excited to watch the rest of it. However, I didn't watch more because Stranger Things season 3 came out. Came out on the 4th of July. Have you watched it? Are you watching it?
I watched the first 3 episodes, but me and Taryn are watching it together. So
you don't want a Netflix sheet.
Yeah,
that's a buzz.
So we did the same thing, Maddie and I actually, but we buckled down hard. We got rid of the kids on Sunday, and we watched like 3 or 4 episodes.
Kids, get out here. We gotta watch
but,
Stranger Things.
It's not like we kicked them outside. They were babysat, but so we watched all of Stranger Things season 3. I thought it was better than 2, but I don't think it'll beat 1. And after watching it, I think season 1 of Stranger Things might be my favorite season ever of a Netflix show. It's so good, but season 3 is really good. We won't talk about spoilers just in case you guys haven't seen it, because it hasn't even been out for a week yet, but it's really good. There will be, spoiler alert for this, there will be a season 4 just by how it ended, but it was great. I thought they did a really good job. There's a lot of dynamics as they're getting older. I watched that. Maddie and I went and watched this weekend the new Spider-Man, whatever the hell it's called. What's this one called? Far From Home. Yeah, that's right. It was really good. I thought it was way, way better than the first one. There's a lot of really cool, like, little tribute things to Tony Stark, and I thought it was awesome. Jake Gyllenhaal was actually really good in it. I enjoyed him, but it was a great movie.
I started playing Spider-Man on PS4 the other day, and I
heard that's awesome.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I only played it for about an hour yesterday, but I'm really enjoying it so far.
I think it's horseshit that it's only on PS4, not on Xbox.
Well, it's the best system. That's another topic, though. Colin, what are you watching?
Yeah.
I did the same thing as Josh. Watched all season 3 of Stranger Things.
What'd you think?
I thought it was just as good as the first 2 seasons. The only thing, the first couple episodes were slow, but after that, it was just it was good. It just seemed like a little slow moving, but it got into it. All the jokes were funny, and the storyline was good.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd rank all the seasons. I liked it better than season 2.
I liked it better than season 2. The one thing I didn't like about season 3, right? It did start off a little bit slow, but when it picked up, I thought it did a good job of maintaining that the rest of the show. Yeah. I didn't like how they were kind of separated the whole time. Like, I feel like I didn't remember that the first 2 seasons, but like you had this group doing this stuff, this group of adults doing this stuff, and this group doing this stuff, and like they didn't really connect until the last episode. And it's like, dude, I really like them all interacting, and they introduced a couple new characters, and that little girl's super funny the way she talks.
Yes, and it's crazy when they do the flashback how
little they were.
They look like. I don't remember them looking that little.
No. And they've all still got shitty, terrible haircuts, but
little bowl cuts.
Yeah,
so I watched them.
That's part of growing up. I guess, you get kind of separate from each other.
So Chino, let me ask you something else. So you had time to watch 8 episodes of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Any other time, just maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours that you had to watch any movie? Maybe our namesake over the past week. I can't remember the name of that movie. What was it?
Catch Me If You Can.
He fucking knows. Anyhow, I before I even saw your face, which just nailed it home even more, I was so confident that you didn't watch it this past week, because I feel like you would have said at least like, hey, I at least know how I'm going to watch it now. No, none of that. I feel like he was all in, and now Stranger Things, he's going to use that as a scapegoat, as he thought he had to watch it.
You guys won't see it coming when I watch it, and I will have a good excuse every week. I appreciate the trust that you have in me, thinking that I watched it those first 2 weeks.
I'm all out. I told you, I'm nope.
I don't believe you. The way my bank account's set up,
I gotta
pay for that movie. That's not happening.
I got a debit and I got a credit. Debit checking.
But yeah, Stranger Things I'm watching. Big Brother, like Mahler said, and then I'm getting all caught up on what the hell is that show called? Big Little Lies on HBO.
Oh, nice.
Haven't watched that yet. Still need to. Don't give me spoilers. That'll be on my agenda this week with Dark over the next 2 weeks. Try to get both of those knocked out. But I'm trying to get everything knocked out before I go to Hawaii next week because I'm not going to be watching the TV. So
There are TVs in Hawaii.
I'm probably not going to waste any time inside watching TV.
You get one of those
in
portable
Hawaii.
TVs, take out to the beach.
Why don't you get? You know what? Why don't you just give some shout outs to people that listen to this show?
Yeah.
Let's wrap this.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone that listens to the podcast. I want to give a special shout out to my good friend Jordan Emily and Wei Lu. They give us good feedback last week, and they are continual listeners. So big shout out to them. We have, I think, one new review this week, or one or two maybe. So we'll go ahead and get this pulled up, and we can read those for you here. Get you some airtime. Got one from Big Ends. Title of this review is Content. 5 stars. Never laughed so hard. Thank you, Big Ends. We appreciate it.
Not surprised. Very happy. Thanks, Biggins. Not surprised. Keep coming back for more, big fella.
Mad Dog Loves Seaville. The title is Mad Dog. 5 stars. Wow, you're so cool. Love to watch every week. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Do you think she watches every week or listens, and then perhaps was watched this on YouTube last week?
Yeah, I mean, we are now on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be putting up the videos every week around the same time the audio comes out. So you can either watch us, or you can listen to us, or you should do both because we cover a lot. And you're probably going to miss a part or two. So make sure you do both.
Do you think Chino should do the podcast shirtless from now on? Since we're doing it on YouTube, we'll get more clicks, a little clickbait.
Yeah.
His mom will watch. That's for sure.
Until he watches the movie, I think he has to do the podcast without a shirt.
All right, I'll watch it this weekend.
He's lying.
So yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CatchMePod. You can also email us at catchmepod@gmail.com. And if you want to leave a voice message, you can do that at anchor.fm/catchmepod. Make sure you subscribe.
Please somebody.
What?
Please somebody leaves a voice
I know.
message.
I'm hoping. I keep on hoping we'll get one because I think.
Please, if you're gonna leave a voice message or if tweet at us a would you rather.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good. That way we don't have to try to look them up every week.
Make sure you subscribe and rate us on Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcast. And until next time, catch us if you can.
Later.
Adios, amigos.